Good morning, everybody. Shefa Brucha V'Atzlucha. We are in parashat Vayeshev. Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz megurei aviv. So there are a lot of interesting things in our parsha, like in all the parashot, and it's very interesting to look and see how do we look on things. Last week is written that God is telling Yaakov Avinu, sit down and then build an altar. Where is it? One minute. Let's find it quickly. One minute. Un momento. כן. ויאמר אלוקים אל יעקב, קום עלה בית אל, ושב שם ועשה שם מזבח לאל הנראה אליך ברכה. And the question is, why does he tell him to sit? He says, sit, come down, and then build an altar. It's like you come to daven, you come to, for example, Mincha, it's the middle of the day, and you rush in. How does your tefillah look? There's a Hasidim Rishonim, they used to come an hour before, prepare themselves for the tefillah. In other words, before you do anything, sit down. So here in our parsha, Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz megurei aviv. Yaakov is sitting down. And here, is sending to Rashi, אלה תולדות יעקב יוסף, קפץ עליו עוזו של יוסף. The whole story with Joseph is starting. I don't understand. Last week, he told him to sit down. Here, it says, לא דיים לצדיקים בעולם הבא, שכרם בעולם, not enough the reward they're going to get in next world, they want to sit in this world? 1 minute, I don't understand what's going on here. It's very simple. And that's exactly the understanding we have to see. You cannot just take a word and learn from this word. You have to see what is around it. What is it talking about? And a lot of people sometimes, they take a few words from the middle of something and they build a whole building on it, and it's not true because it's the whole different meaning. For example, here, what we're talking here last week was, he is coming back from the road. A lot of things in his mind. And he wants to build an altar. You don't do this like this. You have to come down and prepare yourself to do it in the right way. And there's in a lot of things in life that if you come rushing in, it's not coming out exactly as you want. And sometimes you do a lot of mistakes. You have to come down and sit down, especially when talking about, for example, as I said, like the best example is we're talking about here about the Torah. Talking about learning Torah, talking about davening, praying, talking to God. When you want to talk with somebody, and you all mumble-dumble, you all the things that happened you through the day, and you coming out, it's not going to go out the right way. A lot of times, when you have a very important meeting, what do? You prepare yourself to the meeting. And this idea of this sitting here is from the point of preparing yourself for the right thing. Preparing yourself to build an altar for God. Prepare yourself before you approach God. Prepare yourself before you daven. And then it's a whole different thing. But the sitting here in our parsha, it's not the same thing. But here we have to understand another point. Don't think for a moment that what Yaakov wants to do is sit down, a cigarette in his mouth, or a cigar, or a drink, and on the beach, enjoying life, doing nothing. No, that's not Yaakov. Yaakov ishtam yoshev v'alim. Yaakov is the guy that sits and learns Torah. And what does he want to do? He wants to sit and learn Torah. So what's wrong with it? But here, we have to understand. He thinks that he finished his job with his kids. He went through so much in life and raised, Baruch Hashem, 12 kids, 12 sons, the 12 tribes. So he thinks now is the time that I can sit down and learn Torah. The kids are already adults, and they can live their life, and on the contrary, they can also prepare their kids to the right way. They know it all. I gave them all the tools. Tells us the Torah, Bikesh Yaakov leshev b'shalva. Education of the kids never ended. Put it in your mind deep inside. Doesn't matter how old your kids are. They can be 10, 12, 30, 40, 50, 70, whatever. They are still your kids, and there are still things to teach them. It sounds sometimes ridiculous, but how true it is. Children always look at their parents what they do, what they did in their life. Normally, if they're good parents, they admire the parents. And when they see the parents, how they behave when they grow up and at the old age, they learn from this. They learn all the time. And this is something we have to put in our mind. So the Torah says, Bikesh Yaakov leshev beshalva. You cannot sit here from this point of view, like think you can now sit and learn Torah and that's it, you finish your job in life. No. As long as you're in this world, there is still things to do. And suddenly, an unbelievable thing happens. Who could even imagine a thing like this? Think about it. The children of Yaakov Avinu, the tribes, the holy tribes, they hate their brother. They want to kill him. And the brother, Yosef, he's got those dreams, and he's telling them all these dreams that like he's going to be a king and rule over them. And he's telling them off. What's going on here? How did they do this mistake? But the first thing is to understand that educating your kids and teaching your kids never ends. So the Torah shows us, the minute he thought he finished his job, look what happened with his kids. An unbelievable thing. Who could even believe it? Of course, there are reasons. But still, how does it happen? And that brings us to another interesting point. So now we understand. There is sitting and there is sitting. As long as the sitting is to come down and prepare yourself for the next step, it's blessed. It's good. But if the sitting is like, that's it, I'm sitting, that's bad. Because there's always something to do. And by the way, if we're already talking about it, we all know if people stop doing things, then, especially at the elder age, then they find all the illnesses of the world and they, let's say, they go down and they lose their, let's say, the joy of life. Why? Because there is nothing to get up for the next morning. So you have always need this thing to be in this world, to be busy, to be occupied, to do things, not to sit, that's it, I've got nothing to do. So there are so many aspects about this phrase, sitting. So we understand. This world, we're going on. And now, let's see what's happening here with the brothers. This is also a very interesting story. Last week, says Yaakov Avinu, look how it's like, how you translate things in a different way when you look at the whole picture. Here, another interesting point. Last week, says Yaakov, Atzileini na miyad achi miyad esav. Save me from my brother. This week, we see Joseph, his son, and he's been sent by Yaakov to look for his brother, and he is saying, Et echai anochi mevakesh. I'm searching, I'm looking for my brothers. I want to find them. What's going on here? If you take the phrase, Et echai anochi mevakesh, Et atzileini na miyad achi, you have two things. They look the same, but it's a whole different story. Atzileini na miyad achi, save me from my brother if the brother is Esau. And we talked about it. If your brother is Esav Arasha, save me from him. Also, when he loves me and he hugs me and whatever, also, even if it's true, this love, save me from him. Because his love is going to drag me down to hell. In our Parsha, we're talking about the tribes, the holy tribes, the holy children of Yaakov Avinu. So, yes, they did a mistake. And as we talked about in the past a lot of times, they saw him from far and decided, and it didn't let him get close to them, and they decided to kill him. There was no communication. They never talked with each other, and that's one of the problems. When you see things, you think, wow, what's happening here? Why did he do this to me? And then you realize that you are wrong with this. So maybe here we'll talk about this for a few minutes, because my wife she's got a very good friend. She used to learn with her in university. They used to sleep in the same dormitory. And we used to do everything together, like all the, if you have a function or a simcha, they came to us, we came to them. One day we had, 4 years ago, we had a wedding of one of our sons, and we sent them on vacation, didn't get any answer. So John, my wife, is phoning, and she got a very cold answer. No, we're not coming. And telephone was down. She couldn't believe it. Her best friend. What is this? Yes, we didn't see each other for a few years, but still. You know what to do. So we're sitting there and thinking, 1 minute. Let's sit, Vayeshev, let's sit and think what's going on here. And communication. Phone her and ask her, what's wrong? No, yet. She phoned. What was the story? Unbelievable. A year or 2 years before, she invited us to a wedding of her daughter. And we didn't come and didn't answer. The problem is we didn't get the invitation. Didn't get to us. So John told her, right? I'm sorry, I didn't get the invitation. If we would have got the invitation, we would definitely come. What do you mean? We would love to be in your simcha and be a part of it. What do you think, that we didn't answer you? Did you think for a minute that we got the invitation and we ignore it? Baruch Hashem, this ended good. But if John didn't phone her, how would it end? In the worst way that it can. And this is exactly the point. No communication. The brothers didn't communicate with Yosef. Didn't let him come and tell them the truth. Tell them what he thinks, what's really behind everything. And they thought that he's going in the wrong way. He's got these dreams about being a king, those fantasies, and he's not suitable for it. Because from their point of view, what they saw the behavior of Joseph and how his father is taking him, they thought that's it. It's impossible. We cannot go this way. Why can't we go this way? Because they saw Avraham Avinu had Ishmael and Yitzchak, and he had a lot of other kids from the Pilagshim. One was the successor. One was the one who took the lead. Yitzchak. Yitzchak had 2 sons, Esav and Yaakov. Both of them got the lead? No. Who got the lead? Yaakov. And now, Yaakov's got children. And if this is going to go on the way it was till now, only one is going to take the lead. So it's okay. It can be Reuven, Judah, and all the others. But Joseph, this arrogant kid, is not suitable for the job. He is Esav and disguising himself as a tzaddik, but really he's Esav. That's what they thought, the brothers. And he's going to take the lead because they saw Yaakov is taking Joseph and he's taking, and Yaakov Yosef. Yosef and Yaakov are together, and it's written, he loved him more than the other children, and he bought him a special coat and all those things. They had to finish this, because if they don't finish it, the lead is going to go to the wrong guy, and it's going to be the end of the whole idea of believing in one God, the Judaism, and the whole thing that we have to go and get there is going to be lost by this arrogant guy, Joseph. That's what they thought. And Joseph tried very hard to convince them that they are wrong. When he dreamed the dreams, and he's telling them the dreams. And we have to understand, when you tell the dream to somebody, if he solves the dream, that's what's going to happen. There's a whole Gemara about this. So when you look for somebody to solve your dream, you don't go to somebody who hates you. You go to somebody who loves you. And this is the way he was telling them the dream, not because he wanted to show them I'm going to be a king, because he was to see, I'm coming to you. You can now explain the dream, translate the dream, and maybe explain the dream in a very bad way. But I'm not worried about it because I love you. And that's why I'm telling you the story. I'm telling you the dream. But they didn't see it this way. And it's going on and on. And the main point here is communication. If there is no communication, we see things, we think that that's the way it is, but it's not like this. For example, I was invited to a function. And we're coming there, something very fancy. And I don't see my card. Where I'm going to sit, what table. So I thought to myself, maybe he just invited me by the way. Because it wasn't like, today you invite people with WhatsApp and telephone and all. So maybe that's the... So I was insulted. Wow, you didn't have to invite me. Why didn't you invite me if you haven't got no intention that I'm going to be here? Or you want to humiliate me, that there was no place. So I'm going out. And when I'm just stepping out, my friend comes. Where are you going? Says, what do you mean? No, I said, I didn't know what to say. I said, no, I didn't see my card, so I said, I don't. So what do you mean? He said, well, come. What do you from me? Let's see, maybe there's a mistake or something. Baruch Hashem, I had the table, I had the place, and everything was okay. Why do I tell you this? Because you look at it and you think, wow, he just invited me, didn't have any real intention to invite me. It happened to me with my friend. We invited our friend, a very good friend, to a wedding. And he comes to me, like in the beginning of the wedding, he says, I don't know, I don't see my card. Where do I sit? I said, I can't say, impossible. So I'm going to check. I'm running quickly, and I realize we did a mistake. We did invite him, of course, and we wanted him to sit with us. Of course, he's a very good friend of mine. But when we did the plan of the tables, it flicked. We didn't put his name on. What do you do? I ran to the one who was organizing the table, says, you have to find quickly a very good place for my friend and his wife. Baruch Hashem. And then I'm coming up with a bidder. You see, I found it. It fell down on it. And I was remembering what happened to me. And it happens to everybody. It happens to a lot of us. And I've got so many stories. Each one of us got those stories. And this is exactly the point. Don't look at things as they look from the outside. Because sometimes what is on the outside is not in the inside. And it's important to understand it. And here I learned a very, very big lesson. To be so careful. Communication. So here we learn that it's not only communication. It's putting the thing in the right place. And understanding it's not from the outside, it's from the inside. Don't take one word or one phrase from one place and compare it to another place. As we see, save me from my brother, Esav. I'm looking for my brother. Two different aspects, two different things, different words. Shev, sit down, prepare yourself, and then Vayeshev, kafatz alav Yosef. He sat down, and look what happened with Joseph. So there is sitting, and there is sitting. But you have to see where it is, to look at the whole picture. And this is one of the big lessons in life. Look at the whole picture. And not only from the outside, try and look inside. How do you do this? First of all, it's between friends. Communication. And a lot of things you will find out. Things that we couldn't even believe that are true. Even if it looks absurd from the outside. Ask, talk, communicate. All the best. Shefa Baruch V'Atzlucha to everybody.